Have you ever wondered why your solos sound like you're just running up and down scales, but when Slash plays it's pure melody and emotion? Well, I spent years dissecting his most iconic solos, and I discovered that there's a pattern in how he chooses what notes he wants to use, and he's doing something that most guitarists completely ignore. So in this video I'm going to show you the method that Slash uses instead of scales, and how you can use it to finally break out of those repetitive phrases and create solos that you want to play over and over again. So let me show you the main mistake most guitarists make that's ruining their solos. Imagine you're going fishing for the first time and you want to impress everyone. So you throw out this massive net and you think, I'm going to catch everything, the biggest, the best fish. But what actually happens is, you might catch some fish, but you'll also pull up a bunch of stuff that you don't want, like an old boot, maybe a soggy nappy, and a Tesco bag full of unspeakable things. So you have to spend half the time sifting through and throwing most of it back in. There's no control over what you catch. And that's what a lot of guitarists do when they improvise. They find the key and take all 7 notes of the scale and throw this big musical net over the whole fretboard in the hopes that something good is going to pop out. But if you compare that to an experienced fisherman, they don't just take a big net and hope for the best. They pick the exact bait that attracts the exact fish that they want to catch. They know which fish like which bait, and they know where they are and when to cast the line. And Slash solos the exact same way. He's not trying all 7 notes and hoping for the best. He's choosing the exact bait, or the notes, that attracts the exact sound that he wants. And he knows exactly where those notes live on the fretboard, so he can get them anytime. And that's the difference between random scale noodling and actually sounding like Slash. So let me show you what Slash does instead. So let's take Welcome to the Jungle solo. And then listen to the most prominent note he's playing over each chord. And if you look at the chords, the notes he's actually playing over those chords live within those chords. And the reason why Slash's lines sound so melodic is because he's not using all 7 notes of the scale. He's targeting the chord tones, and they're just the notes inside of the chord. Now, if this sounds too complex for you and theory puts you off, don't worry, because later in the video, I'll show you something that's gonna make all of this so easy, and you don't even have to learn any theory to be able to do it. Trust me, you're gonna love it. So before I show you how to apply this, I'm gonna show you how this is gonna take your ability to solo to the next level. Have you ever tried to play a solo over a chord progression that changes keys or borrows other chords from other keys, and then found yourself hitting all the wrong notes? Well, that's because one scale won't work for everything. But if you know the chords and stick to the chord tones, you can't go wrong. Let's take this example from Guns N' Roses' song Coma. There's a lot going on here, a lot of key changes. Let me show you how to do it. If you're new to this, it's a good idea to write down the chord progression or have it somewhere where you can see it. And just start off by targeting the root note of the chord that you're on. Now that's great to start with, and it will really open up the fretboard for you and see more clearly where things are. But it can sometimes sound a little bit disconnected because those notes are quite far away from each other. So the next thing to do is to choose a chord tone for the next chord that's closest to the note that you're already on. So that might mean swapping that root note out for a 3rd or the 5th. If I've got C to G and my starting note is on C, well, the 3rd of a G major chord is B, so that's right next door. And then if we go down a step again, we've got the A note in the F chord. and then go into that F to end on, because we've got 2 bars for that chord. It makes sense, we've got a clear path. Or we could go up. What you could do is make it more interesting by adding expression like vibrato, bends. You don't have to just start on that note, you could bend up to that note if you want. Do a little bit of a lead in. And you can put in some Slash style phrasing and licks to make it more interesting. So I was targeting different chord tones there, and you can hear how they all have a different type of flavour, but they're very much Slash. So you might be thinking, I don't know any theory, and I don't want to learn any either. But the good news is, you don't need to, because you can just use the Solo Buddy, where you just plug in the chord progression, and it's going to show you the chord tones of each chord. And if you don't know where they are on the fretboard, use the Fretboard Trainer, and that's going to show you exactly where they are on the fretboard. And you never have to learn a peep of theory. It's basically like looking at a map and showing you exactly where to go. Now the thing is, it's all well and good knowing this, but it's only one piece of the puzzle when it comes to playing solos that people actually want to listen to. If you really want to create Slash-like solos, I highly recommend watching this video next, because it's going to show you one of the things that Slash knows that helps him choose the right notes no matter what key is in.